the stream, and we will see if we hear things on Twitch.
I see a stream beginning. Unmute it. I hear
Okay.
Sir Robert.
Yep, I heard it too.
I hear myself.
Okay, let's get back in the salad again. Which I realize only really works if you say into, but you know, you can do what you can do. Grammatically, it works the other way if you don't. Let's see.
I like salad.
I saw a good little joke that can only be done in print. It was nice. You can't speak it.
Not with that attitude.
That's right.
That makes this the perfect medium for it.
Yeah.
Aaron, I messaged you.
Not really.
Icon. How many options displayed?
You're very quiet again, despite
I'm mumbling.
adjustable. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're normal.
Seemed more of a mutter to me than a mumble, but...
Okay. I'm ready. I'm going to just do some of this as we go, kind of making up some of the parts where I messed up on my prep stuff. I didn't get all... Whatever. Yes, it's good. Let's do it. Dice.
Dice.
They'd
Camera.
better not lice.
Action.
My damage rain stick.
Yes.
Ooh.
I fear it.
All right. And let's pull up our thing. So I'm going to pull us into our episode boilerplate, and we will go. Everybody ready? Thanks for your
Ready
patience.
as I'll ever be.
Indeed.
Here we go. I'm sorry, I was just waiting. What is that?
Sorry, that was me
Dragging
sliding
my
my
microphone.
computer. I apologize.
No worries. Okay.
Computer slide. The new electric boogaloo.
All right, you're all muted. Here we go. This is The Dying of the Light, Season 3 of the Starfall Collective. The Starfall Collective is a collaborative storytelling group using the Dungeons & Dragons game system as a vehicle for creating rich and compelling stories in a fictional world that we've been developing together for a while. You can find out more about the collective as well as the stories we're telling at thestarfallcollective.com. We are back with another episode. Let's find out who's in this episode. I'm Sir Robert Burbridge, a father and entrepreneur, and I am the host of this season's story. My occasional reminder that I give you is that as the host, I have, as a dungeon master, game master, I have written the story this season, but I don't know what the characters are going to do. The other people here are playing the characters in this story. They are the ones who determine what they will do, but they don't know what the story is. That's what makes it interesting, we hope. So, with me tonight, here are a few friends playing the characters in this drama. Please say your name, something about yourself if you like, and a brief description of the character you are playing. Why don't we start with Aaron Joy? You're muted. I muted everybody.
I'm Erin Joy. I'm playing Neno. She's grandmotherly, pint-sized body, full-size personality.
All right. And Matt?
Hi, my name is Matthew Talamini. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew TALAMINI.com. I'm playing the shirtless wizard Diamondback, although I'm currently wearing a big fur coat from my dead orc friend.
And Patrick?
Yeah, my name is Patrick. I will be playing the character of Toll. I'm currently taking donations for unexpected medical expenses. Please remit payment in the form of pennies or nickels via Slingshot through my living room window. Thank you.
Okay. Dwight?
I am Belvari. I am a normal-sized person with a substandard-sized personality.
Okay. Jared?
Hey, I'm playing Yoshka. He is the bard.
Good. And Josh? You're muted, Josh. Josh, you're
You're
muted.
muted.
But it looks
You're
really
muted,
dramatic.
Josh. We can't
It
hear
looks
you.
amazing.
That's right, brothers and sisters. We are here to bring mercy upon our brother Patrick. All donations, make them payable. Make them payable, baby. Get it in here through PayPal any way you need to. You throw that money through the window. Get that money into Patrick. All right, hallelujah.
Brother loves traveling
My
salvation
name is
show.
Josh. My name is Josh. I'm a full-time Bigfoot enthusiast and full-time web developer. Full-time a lot of things, but playing D&D with you guys tonight. You can find me all over the internet at JSuich, and if you go to the Starfall Collective subreddit, we can talk about stuff there.
All right. Sounds good. Let's get started. Previously on the Dying of the Light.
I don't think I can hear Jared. I didn't hear him when he was talking.
Oh,
He's still spinning.
Jared, will you say something?
Yeah, I just said I'm playing Yoshka. He's the bard.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that.
Oh, weird.
I'm hearing it. You might check
Can
his
you hear me now?
volume on your
I can hear him.
Mouse over his picture,
slider.
Pat.
I was saying it particularly to you, Patrick.
Yeah, no, his volume's up. Hopefully it just
Huh.
fixes itself.
And let me just,
Weird.
for our listening audience,
That
because it's
seems
super
unlikely.
compelling audio, I'm just going to do a quick sound check for each person on the stream to see what's coming through. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
You can pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All right. All right. We're just going to go in order real quickly. Let's go me, Aaron Joy, Matt, Josh, Pat, Dwight, and Yoshka. I'm going to be listening while you all do it. Go.
Aaron Joy here.
Hi, this is Matthew.
Hi, this is Josh.
Hi,
Yes.
this is Patrick.
Hi, I'm Dwight.
And I'm playing Yoshka.
Sound good to me.
I didn't hear it, but
Oh,
All right. I heard it on Twitch, which means I have heard it everywhere it needs to be heard.
okay.
Just kidding. Sorry, Patrick.
But
Okay.
Jared, if I ever talk over you, I apologize. If I ever talk over Jared, somebody just say, cut it.
okay.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
do
weird that two of us just can't hear him.
that's bizarre.
May I recommend we use the text feature on the side?
exclusively.
Yeah, that hurts the
That's a good
podcast
idea.
audience.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
that's
If the podcast listeners can't hear what we're saying in the chat, that's not good.
Okay.
We'll just have to say it out loud and say it in both places.
So, here we go. And yeah, whatever. No disclaimers needed. I am doing the junk. Okay. So when last we met, we had a big brawl in front of the town of Miradau. There was a lot of chaos going on, a lot of different interested parties doing interesting things. Quick synopsis of the highlights. The party came from on the road towards Miradau. They were coming from the north, slightly northwest, but mostly north, towards the entrance to Miradau, which is itself at a bend in the road. There's a clearing in front of the town where they have an opening to their village wall, and also across the road, across the clearing, a little cage that protects, that encompasses a teleportation circle. Astute listeners may recall that several of them came through that teleportation circle previously when they first encountered Miradau, having been in the forest and encountered some creatures there who brought them through. So they've come from the north side, and in front of Miradau, there was already a significant fight happening. That fight was between, they're not sure how many, but it sounded like it could have been as many as a dozen Iron Bell, as well as some creatures of the forest, the night, this false night. In the woods, as they've been traveling, they have been hearing awakened trees groaning and creaking, and to the best of their ability to tell, whenever there was loud violence among animals, the trees, the creaking of what they assumed were trees, began in earnest and silenced those animals. What exactly was happening? Nobody knows. However, in the previous episode, one of the things they encountered was some similar groaning and creaking of what of these apparently awakened sentient trees, semi-sentient at least, and a large crash from above, bringing to them a demolished home of what looked like these bird creatures. Among them are Inkatink, who has joined the party on their way and is doing his best to help the party and set things ablaze, as Diamondback can attest. So what has happened is the party has been watching a little bit of the battle and started to decide to get engaged. Before we found out what they wanted to do, however, there was a shambling mound of just forest chaos, leaves and branches and bramble and vines and whatever, that had seemed to have awakened and is driving itself through the forest, collecting whatever it can in its path. The panther that Yoshka had charmed sometime previously has followed the party and let them know that it was present by a little meow sort of roar thing that it does, which awakened the Shambling Mound and alerted it, not awakened, which alerted the Shambling Mound to their presence. It sort of dumbly went straight towards the sound. Splint, who is not with us tonight because we do not yet know his fate, Splint bravely gave his pack to his party and did a splint sprint into the woods, playing his instrument as loudly and quickly as he could to draw the Shambling Mound away. The party saw the mound pursue Splint and now know nothing of his fate. After that, they became engaged and in the fight, and a number of the Iron Bell have died in the course of this. What is left for sure is the Shambling Mound, 2 woodwoads, which are guardians of the forest, seeming to be made of logs and things. Some number of Iron Bell, they can't be exactly sure, although they can see, about a half dozen left, perhaps. And they can hear the creaking of some trees, one of which is currently illuminated in fairy fire. Also, just as a pointed reminder to our player and the listening audience, after one failed attempt last episode to send a message to Garriott, actually a couple of failed attempts from a couple of different people, Yoshka was actually able to get up close to the wall and, hearing Garriott's voice again, was able to send him a message. What he heard in reply, no one knows except Yoshka and the listening audience. Our players here do not know, but may find out if he heard something at all. So let's jump into the action. I've got my... If you guys give me 1 second, I'm just going to resume this encounter. And we finished at the end of a turn, so we're going to start right at the beginning of the turn again. Apologies. 1 second, I got to find my map here that has what I've drawn. I cleaned up today, which was a mistake. Just kidding.
Nothing's where you left it.
That's right. I'll cut that from YouTube and post. Just kidding. I definitely will not. Okay.
Anyone who's watching it live, it'll be removed.
Oh, I'll cut it from them in post too. All right. Whoops. Okay. I'm ready. Let's do it. So, we left with the town of. We're at the town of Mirrodau. As I said, there we go, and to right off the road, a little bit to the northwest of Mirrodau, Belvari has just defeated one Iron Bell with the help of Neno and Yoshka, who came right behind him inadvertently, found them there, and helped them to defeat that Iron Bell soldier. Going counterclockwise around the town, if you were to traverse the wall, put your hand on the wall and walk counterclockwise around the town, after a very short bit, you would find yourself at the front gate of the town, only a good 20 feet. Standing directly in front of the gate, maybe 10 feet away from the front of the gate, is the leader, the apparent leader of this Iron Bell group. You have heard Garriott shout his name once. It is Vorak. He is a strapping orc in charge of this group of Iron Bell. On the other side of the gate, you've been hearing Garriott's voice, as well as seeing some occasional spells, little bolts of fire and things like that, come out of the top of the town, and perhaps helping in the fight. We don't exactly know what Garriott was doing here. Traveling further around the town, it's out of your line of sight. If you go another, say, quarter of the way around the town, it's out of your line of sight, but you can hear one of the banging of one of the woodwoads. It sounds like hollow logs, that they bang on their shields and grunt and things. And there are a handful of Iron Bell over there. You're not sure how many, but it's more than 2, probably fewer than 10. You're not sure. In the center of the clearing, right about the center of the clearing, are the 2 now crispy Iron Bell that Inkatink, Toll, and Diamondback went to fight. And they themselves, Inkatink, Toll, and Diamondback, are standing in the clearing about 10 or 15 feet away. Sorry, not Diamondback. Inkatink and Toll are standing in the clearing about 10 or 15 feet away from Vorak behind him. Whether he sees them, we don't know. What we do know is that Diamondback was somewhat overcome with the visceral inner bits of his fear and such. No?
No.
Okay.
No. Tactics.
Tactics, okay. And has walked backwards, has kind of retreated sort of willfully. I don't mean just kind of walking backwards, but has gone toward, and he's right at the edge of the darkness. And remember, Garriott had previously cast a very bright light at the center of the battlefield, which left basically bright light, which is daylight sort of light, for about 30 feet radius, and then dim light for another 30 feet, and past that, the false night, the darkness. That light is now flickering and dimming. It looks like it's running its course. In the dimness, about 40 feet south of Diamondback, is this tree glowing with fairy fire. And right at the end... Oh, sorry. And you can actually see another 40 feet ish south of him, of that tree. You can see this slow-moving, shambling mound of vegetation that has been, it's been following noise, is going straight towards the shouting of Vorak. Before he can reach Vorak, he will reach the second woodwode, who has just killed one of the Iron Bell and is standing face to face with another Iron Bell. So that is an interesting potential collision there, this Shambling Mound. And yeah, that's it. Okay. let's go ahead and start the action. Does anybody have any questions about any of that before I jump in? Do y'all feel like you have a good sense of where things are? Good? Okay.
Just double checking, the Shambling Mound is coming north?
Yeah, kind of northeast.
Okay.
So the road, you'll remember, it comes kind of southward, and then as you travel southward, it bends to the west. The Shambling Mound is kind of cutting the corner of that bend, going towards the town. So, and doing so not very quickly. It does not move as quickly as a walking person, nor as intelligently as such. Okay, I've got a couple of things I'm doing here. This is maintaining hit points and stuff of people you can't see. Let's get into the action. Let's see. We don't have Splint anymore right now. We don't know where he is. I will track him.
Can we hear his whistle?
Say it again.
Can we hear his whistle?
You do not hear his whistle. You heard it for a little while, and it got further away. But before it got all the way further away, he seemed to have finished his song or whatever. And you haven't heard it for a couple of minutes.
Gotcha.
So I've got, let's see. All right. All right. It is Vorak's turn. I'm just going down the list. So Vorak has been shouting at Garriott, let us in, and threats of what will happen to Garriott if he doesn't. Garriott has been resisting, saying, I can't. If I open these gates, everybody's going to die, including you. You also won't have a safe haven. Basically trying to reason with him in short bursts. Vorak here, now, frustrated with that, turns and sees, standing about 15 feet away from him, he sees Toll and Inkatink standing in the light. He does not know anything about you guys. You're just some random... To his perception, you are either townsfolk or strangers. For some weird reason, you're out at night. Let me see what he's going to do. Give me 1 sec here. There we go. I'm going to give him... Let's do it this way. And he also sees the woodwoads that are about 30 feet away from you, the one the Shambling Mounds are running toward. The Shambling Mound is running towards. He is going to assess the situation quickly and runs towards his Iron Bell cohort. What just happened here? Somebody get that? Okay, great. He is going to run towards his Iron Bell cohort, who is fighting the Woodwoad, and he is going to attack that Woodwoad. Let me check to see. We've got... Rolling...
Is this the glowing woodwoad? The one with fairy fire?
None of the Woodwoads had fairy fire. One Iron Bell and the tree.
Oh, the tree.
Mm-hmm. The tree is a awakened tree. It's stationary. You can see it kind of glowing. So Vorak runs fast and swings a big hefty club straight at this tree, but this woodwoad. But it lifts up one of its arms and has a wooden shield. Whether it's a part of the creature, you can't quite tell. Maybe it's wearing it, but it seems to be the same kind of wood. You're not sure what's happening. However, it manages to completely deflect his blow and he doesn't seem to do any damage to it. There is creaking and groaning from the woods. You hear things happening. The underling who is there next to Vorak, the Iron Bell underling there, seeing him and taking heart, also attacks this same creature. He swings his mace. He's got a mace in his hand. He swings it and misses, and swings it again And both times that he swings that, it does not land on this surprisingly dexterous collection of logs. It is now Yoshka's turn, then Neno, and then Belvari. You guys, remember, are standing in the dim light a little bit northwest of the city. On a clock, if you want to think about it this way, on a clock, you're at about 10 o'clock on the city's round gate, if 12 is north. So Yoshka first. You've just killed this Iron Bell, you've just talked to Garriott, and here you are.
And we're like right up against the wall, right?
That's right. You could reach out and touch it.
Okay, well, I'm going to quickly speak to Neno and Belvari, and then use my bonus action to dash over to Diamondback and Toll. I'm going to tell Neno and Belvari, Garriott just said.
You still there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me, Matt? Okay. Everybody, Neno, it's important that you and Belvari can hear me. Okay. So I'm going to say, Garriott said, just kill the bell. And then I'm going to run over to Diamondback and Toll and Inkatink.
Inkatink and Toll are standing near the center of the clearing in the light area, but Diamondback is about 50 feet away from them in the darkness. Not in the darkness, right on the edge.
Okay. I'm going to head towards Diamondback then.
Okay. You know him a little better. So you're able, with your dash, you're able to get all the way there to where he is. Okay. Good. And Neno. So Yoshka has just said this to you. You are there with Belvari and Orden. He has said this to you and bolted straight towards Diamondback, who you can just barely see on the edge of the light. And you're muted. You're muted.
You're muted in Progly.
In Progly, you're muted. Yeah, sorry.
I immediately cast Cure Wounds on Belvari.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have components for that? She does. I just was saying that for the audio so that they would know that it's component based. And that was, I think she's going to roll 1d8. We'll have her do that when, oh, there you go. Aaron, can you hear me?
I can. I don't have D&D Beyond open because it closes down Progly.
Aha.
Sorry. But I have actual dice if you can tell me what to roll.
Roll a 1d8. And I believe it's +2 for you.
5.
Okay.
So 7.
7. So,
Nice.
Belvari, you got 7 hit points back.
Belvari starts crying about 30% less than he was before.
All right. It is now Belvari's turn. Is that what you do on your turn? Cry 30% less?
Reduce crying intensity. Yeah, and then that is my bonus action. And I will... So, real quick, I have a 0 healing word and a 1 healing word. Is the 0 just a miss? Is it a typo, or is there a healing word that is
when you say 0 and 1, you mean level 0 and level 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that should be both level 1.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use two things and cast healing word on myself.
Okay. And do you remember what to roll
if
for
anyone's
that?
interested, it is the orange-winged wren and the grim-footed pangolin. Both different kinds of droppings.
Nice.
And so I think I roll a d4.
That's right. Plus your spellcasting modifier.
Add 4.
That's
4.
right.
Come on, baby. Well, I get 5.
That'll do.
I rolled a 1.
Better than nothing.
Yep.
All right.
And for my movement, I will move around the wall, kind of heading towards 12 o'clock if I'm at 10 o'clock.
So you're going away from the front gate. You're heading northward.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. All right. Now it is, you hear commotion in the distance. around where you can't see towards the bottom, the south part of Miradau. But you do hear clamor and fighting. Things are going on. Let's see. Are you staying close to the wall, Belvari?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to make it to about the 12 to 12:30 point on the clock of Miradau's circle. So a little east of north by the time at the end of this round.
Gotcha.
Diamondback, it is your turn.
I see
And Toll, you'll be next.
Kavik, Kolak,
Vorak?
Kulik,
Vorak.
Vorak. So I'm seeing Vorak doing battle with this wooden thing. He seems to be about 60 feet away from me.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about the mist / underbrush situation here. If I crouch down, or if I drop to my belly, will I be able to have line of sight on Vorak without him being able to see me? Do I think?
No, you're pretty far into the woods at this point. Not like I'll just tell you exactly. Hold on. You're about 40 feet into the woods from the clearing. From the clearing in front of Miradau. So there are some trees and bushes and branches and stuff ahead of you. Between you and Vorak. Vorak and the woodwood are in the clearing.
Right. So what I want to do, here's what I want to do is I want to get behind a bush, crouch down, squat down, even lie on my belly if I can, so that I have some sort of cover. And also, I want low visibility. I want to be in the darkness with little visibility and close to the ground. And I want to be so that I can be flinging spells into the lit up light area.
Okay, so you want to retreat a little bit into the completely dark part. He just got a little wider on my screen. While he's doing that, I think Matt's reconnecting. Or maybe I'm reconnecting. Did everybody freeze except me? Hey, everybody. Can you all hear me? Anybody there? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello? Anybody there? Hey, can you all hear me?
Am I back?
I
I can hear you, Sir Robert. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
Looks like possibly Aaron is not back.
Yeah. Everybody froze all at once.
It's weird.
That was weird.
So what I want to do is while I'm within range, while I'm within 60 feet of Kovac, Vorak, while I'm within 60 feet range of Vorak, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire at him.
Did that look like a total meltdown for everybody, or just a couple of us?
It was all of us. We all
Everybody.
had to come back in.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I am crushing together a fang of the white-scaled adder and an eye of the fire-winged swallow. And that's going to allow me to cast Fairy Fire on Vorak. Each object in a 20-foot cube within range. And I want to get him and any other... You know what? Get the tree monster, too. It's within 20 feet of him.
It is?
Yeah, so each object in that 20-foot cube is outlined in, I'm going to say blue light. And they have to pass a dexterity check. And that dexterity check is going to be 12.
Okay. I'm going to, let's see. pull that up. They have to do a 12 dexterity check. And you said this is for
Yep.
fairy fire?
This is fairy fire.
Okay. Okay, let's do first Vorak. There he is. And it is a dex check. He gets a 17. So he himself is not struck. However, let's see about the underling next to him. Only rolls a 7. His underling, who's there next to him with a mace in his hand, begins to glow a blue light in the midst of this bright white light that they're standing in.
And I want the monsters. If there are monsters nearby, I want them too.
Yeah, there's one of
within
them
a 20-foot cube
who rolls a dex check with a 16. He is not affected. However,
Rat.
also about 10 to 12 feet away from them is the Shambling Mound.
Yeah, let's get that Shambling Mound lit up.
Let's see what he does. A 15.
All I got is a scrub.
You got
okay,
something.
Well, so at this point, I'm going to back up. I'm going to say so. What I want to do is continue backing up away from the light and further into the woods, until I find a place where I can crouch down and feel like I'm hidden, but still be able to throw rocks and spells at the bad guys in the light.
You only need to go back about 6 feet to be in the pitch blackness of the night.
Okay, and do I find a bush or something?
Yeah, I mean, you can feel, but you won't be able to tell how well you're enshrouded because it's black. But
cool.
The fact that you're in the darkness probably means it's dark.
Yeah, so I'm crouching down, very low profile, near or beneath a bush, but I'm trying to maintain so I can see the bad guys.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, that was Diamondback's turn. The Woodwode that did not just get fired with Fairy Fire is going to make an attack on the underling who has begun to glow. It's taking advantage of this Fairy Fire, and it is going to roll with advantage. Let's see.
Or sap.
Yeah. 2 attacks with its club.
Oh.
With advantage. So an 11 and an 11 and an 11. Okay. That was a little suspicious. I rolled on D&D Beyond and I rolled a 4 and a 3 and a 4 and a 3. But
nice.
Whatever. And let me just see real quickly what this guy's AC is, but I think he's... Sorry, one sec. There we go. His AC... it's a tie. He has an 11. Who does an 11 go to? The attacker?
The tie goes to the one who's doing something.
Doing something, okay. So the Woodwode does get 2 solid, hefty blows on this guy. And let's see what he does, damage-wise. I'm trying to see what the...
It's not actually who's doing something. It's the one who is not setting the DC. So if yours is the AC or the DC that somebody is rolling against, then you don't have the advantage.
Got it. This Iron Bell is in... he looks to be in really good shape. Whether he's in pristine shape, you can't tell. But he doesn't seem to be limping or anything like that. The Woodwode brings down one of its heavy, kind of clubbed hands. Again, you can't quite tell if the club is part of its arm log or something it's holding, but it brings one and then the other down in a smashing blow. To the best of your ability to tell, what's left is a paste on the clubs. The Iron Bell underling is no more.
Like taking a hammer to a sausage.
Yes. So that was that. That's turn, and we've got here, we're going to go on that. In the distance, in the dim light, a couple of y'all can see far away in the dimness on the other side. You can see a couple of Iron Bell and another Woodwood fighting. You can't really make out details of what is happening there. However, things do seem to be happening. And I'm just dealing with that. Give me one sec. And then finally, it is the Shambling Mound. As I said, it is coming close to the group of Vorak, the Underling, and the Woodwoad. These not too bright creatures just engulf everything around them. Here's what it's going to do. Okay, I'm just reading. So the way this works, the Shambling Mound makes 2 slam attacks, which is it just slams into a thing. If both attacks hit a medium or smaller target, the target is grappled, and the Shambling Mound uses its Engulf ability on it. So let's do its slam attack. It is going. I'm going to roll to see which one of the 3. It's not making a. It's just going towards noise. It is attacking. That was my reroll number. So it is attacking the Woodwoad, or it's slamming into it. It rolls.
Nice.
I bet that's going to hit. Both of them are going to hit. Give me a sec. Yeah, both of them hit. So it slams into this Woodwoad and slams into it again. As a result, it damages the Woodwoad just by the slamming, doing a total of some damage. You don't know the quantity, but you're impressed by both of them in the struggle. And it does its Engulf Attack. I'm just going to read this so that you and our audience knows what's happening here. The Shambling Mound engulfs a medium or smaller creature grappled by it. The engulfed target is blinded, restrained, and unable to breathe, and it must succeed on a DC 14 con saving throw at the start of each of the mound's turns, or take 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage. If the mound moves, the engulfed target moves with it. You can only have one creature engulfed in it at a time. So,
do Woodwoods need to breathe?
They do not, I don't think. It doesn't say in their description exactly. But they are magical of some kind. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know.
If it can only have one creature engulfed at a time, does that answer our question about what happened to Splint?
Let's find out.
It would if we knew enough about these things, maybe.
So it did its damage, and I'm just going to look real quickly right here.
Unless it already dissolved him. Digested him.
Okay. So yeah, it moves that way, and that is the end of its turn. Toll, you are standing near the center of the clearing. You're about 20 feet away from the Shambling Mound, Vorak, the Woodwoad, and the Iron Paste. It is your turn.
So, if I remember correctly, I think I was heading toward where the rest of the party was.
Okay. I'm game for that. Oh, that's right. I think we might have said right at the end, yeah, you can make it in that turn. Okay. So you're over with Neno now, if that's where you were heading. Belvare has just left Neno and Orden. He's just, going around back into the darkness around the town. Yoshka has run towards Diamondback, and you have now just arrived at Neno, so she is no longer left alone to care for Orden. What would you like to do?
If he got there at the end of his last turn, that would have meant he heard what I said.
Yeah, fair enough.
And what was that again? I just kill the bell. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have come over here then. I guess I'm headed back to where we thought I was.
Towards the center
Do
where
I have enough
Inkatink is.
movement? What was that?
If you run back towards where you were, you will rejoin Inkatink at the center.
Okay, and then that will be, would you say, within 20 feet of the commotion?
Yeah. And then Inkatink, it'll be your turn.
Okay, so I will stay on the edge of the light so that I'm still obscured.
Okay.
And I will cast Acid Arrow on the leader. And now that Matthew said so many names, I've forgotten his name.
Vorak.
Vorak.
You're standing
So
right
that's-
next to the edge of the town on a clock face at about 10 o'clock with Neno. That means that you're in the dim light area, not in the pitch blackness. But there you go.
Yeah, that's fine. It's got a range of 90, so I figured I might as well use that.
Sounds good.
So that's a ranged spell attack. Can you automatically roll a ranged spell attack in D&D Beyond, or do you just have to roll a d20 and add the modifier?
I think your weapon... Do you have your weapon in your inventory?
Yes.
So go to your attack tab there. It doesn't look like you have it equipped. Let me see.
It doesn't give you a good option, but if you give yourself a spell that uses your ranged attack, then you'll be able to click it on that spell in D&D Beyond, like this.
Oh.
Alternately, you can roll a d20 and add 3 for in your case.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just do that.
And how does the combination of like this unusual darkness and fairy fire work for him?
So he gets advantage still. In the illumination that has been created here, he can see them, although the light is beginning to flicker and fade. So he still gets advantage on the fairy fire guy. And thank you for reminding us. So totally.
Oh, the fairy fire guy was turned into paste.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. The fairy fire guy was killed. You're shooting at Vorak, who was not fairy fired.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's just a one
Regular
roll.
Yeah.
Okay. 14.
A 14 against Vorak. Vorak scoffs into the night at the acid arrow that misses him.
Yeah, that wasn't a great roll.
It was close, though, actually. He has a 15. Okay, Inkatink, your turn. You are standing in the middle. All your newfound friends are scrambling around in different directions. You're the only one standing in the center-ish, not quite the center, a little north of the center of the clearing and the light. What would you like to do?
Okay.
You can reach pretty much everybody from where you are.
Yeah.
Did he see an acid arrow just fly past Vorak as though it was trying to hit him?
If he was paying close attention.
Which I probably was, and I've already been paying attention to Vorak. I really need him dead so that the only category... Well, whatever. He attacks the guy with bonfire.
Can you guys hear Josh?
Yeah.
I can hear Josh.
I can hear everyone now.
So he's going to do create bonfire underneath him.
Underneath who?
Vorak.
Okay.
So Vorak needs to make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
That's weird.
Give me 1 sec. There it is. I was just pulling up Create Bonfire so I knew what it does. To refresh myself, he needs. You said a DC what? 13?
13.
Dex saving throw?
That's right.
Okay. And he got a 5.
Nice.
So
he takes 6 points of fiery damage, and there is now a fire underneath him.
all right. He seems to be in good shape aside from now just having been hot-footed by somebody. Who knows? I'm going to also roll a 50-50, so a D20 on 10. Actually, I'm going to do odds and evens on a D4. He was attacking the woodwode. I'm going to do odds and evens on a D4 to see whether or not the bonfire also hit the woodwode, if they happen to be close enough. Odds is yes, evens is no. It is a 4.
Last time we did a roll like this, it was not in our favor.
It's true. It is a
Now
4.
we're due.
So it did not hit the woodwode this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Again.
You hear some more chaos in the distance. Again, just... Oh, sorry. Let me actually do my... Where'd it
This is
go?
my woodwode about to smash the Vorak.
Vorak.
Yeah, Vorak is in the foreground.
There is more chaotic noise coming from the distance, Iron Bell, that are not near you exactly anymore. But, there you go. Let's see. In the distance, near Belvari, actually. Belvari, you hear a groaning and strange noise coming, and it has this sort of rumbling, like turning of soil moving with it. Out of seemingly nowhere, it emerges from the darkness into the dimness about 10 feet from you. A tree begins, to your surprise, it's not just sitting there groaning. It actually appears to be something like walking towards you. This tree creature is... Let me look at its speed. Okay, there you go. It reaches out, like leaning over with great groaning and creaking sounds, and swings at you. Does a 12 hit you?
Me?
No, Belvari.
Oh.
Yes, it does.
A 12 hits Belvari.
12.
Okay. It does 9 damage.
Oof.
Did you get that?
Yep,
How are you doing?
I'm still alive.
Okay. Sounds good. I was just trying to see if I need to narrate or I don't know what's happening. And then it has a second attack, which it tries again. Ooh, it almost had a 1, but a 25, which presumably also hits you.
Yep.
And this time does 7 damage. Those are kind of low rolls for it.
Okay, I'm out of life.
Okay. So this tree creature kind of lurches into the light and just sees Belvari there and slams at him with 2 big branches from the edge of its reach. And Belvari, how much damage, if you had gone negative, how much would it have been?
1.
Okay. So Belvari gets hit quickly on both sides and collapses unconscious right there. Neno, and just Neno actually, you would have seen the tree creature come and attack Belvari. You would have heard the sounds, and it's only about 15 feet from you, kind of 15, 20 feet, probably closer to 10, 15 feet around the edge of the town where Belvari was. He gets slammed and knocked into the wall and collapses in a heap at the bottom of it. That is that guy. It is now Vorak's turn. Vorak is on fire at his feet and immediately jumps out of it. Although, let me just make sure. Until the spell ends, any creature...
Yeah, you can jump out of it at the beginning of your turn without getting burned.
Okay.
Creature who ends their turn in the fire is
Got it. Great. That's what I was checking. Thank you.
Because I did that.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. He jumps out of it and he's not exactly sure what has happened here. He just is fighting this weird tree thing and is on fire suddenly. He swings at the creature again and misses again. He is not doing well against this thing.
Which thing?
The woodwode.
Isn't the woodwode engulfed?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me rewrite that. The woodwode. Sorry, I'm gonna reverse for a second. The woodwode, having been engulfed, Vorak jumps out of the way, and seeing the Shambling Mound, which is this huge whatever, and it just consumes this woodwode. He is not heartened by that. He's going to sprint as fast as he can towards a different woodwode off into the distance. You can barely see him, illuminated with a handful of iron bell in front of him, and he's going to swing at that woodwode instead. I'm going to keep the same roll because I already rolled it for him. And so he runs across there and misses, joining his group of several other iron bell, but he does not manage to land a blow as far as you can tell. Let's see, that guy's not there. Yoshka, then Neno, then Belvari, who's unconscious. Yoshka, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Diamondback. I mean, I caught up to him last turn, so this turn I'm gonna whisper. I got from Garriott. He said, "Just kill the bell." And then, how far are we now from the group of Vorak and his guys?
So Vorak has now run into the distance, so he's diametrically opposite you in this light by a total of 30, 60, about 90 feet away from you. So he's
Okay.
like, call it right about 90, 100 feet, because y'all are a little bit in the darkness. He is all the way across the circle, just at the border of the light, of the bright and dim light. So he's about 100 feet away from you.
Okay. Staying in the path, I'm going to use my bonus dash action to kind of go through the darkness towards them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at your discretion, my next move.
You're going to stay all the way dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I get within 60 feet and can spare an action, also I will cast a spell, but your discretion. I spoke to Diamondback, and maybe that's my action.
You will get within 60 feet. Yeah, that's close enough. I'll call that 60 feet. It's about right. You can
Okay.
use an action here. I'll let you only said something. You didn't really interact with him. It was a short statement, so that'll be your free action.
Okay.
Also, by the way, where y'all were standing, the panther from before was there, and when you sprint through the darkness to get 60 feet, it runs with you. And I'm just going to let you be able to command it right now. I mean, in general, you can tell me what it does. You don't get to tell it to do things, but it's friendly to you, and it sees you fighting.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on kind of especially on Vorak, but on this group of his companions that I can get that's kind of near him.
Okay, do it.
Okay. It just is a cast thing, and then I don't see anything about, let's see. They have to do a dex save.
Yeah.
Do I set that, or do they?
It
Let's
is
see.
Yoshka in your.
It's versus your spell save DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at-
14.
Yeah, 14. All right, sounds good. So you cast that, and with your components, right?
Yes, I will demark those.
And let me roll for them. So we've got a 17, a 4. One of the guys is glowing. Sorry, I'm just checking here. Ooh, all right, almost. And lastly, okay, two people next to Vorak begin glowing with what color light, Yoshka? Can't hear you. I think you might be muted.
You're muted.
Orange.
Okay. Here in this bright white light, Yoshka from the darkness reaches into his pouch, crushes some components, and though nothing visible seems to happen at Yoshka, a sort of rippling around the area of Vorak happens, and two of his compatriots begin glowing with an orange light. All right. I'm just keeping track of who that is so that I get it right, so that I can tell you when you have advantage. Now it is Neno's turn.
Neno, having just seen Belvari get smashed, stifles a gasp, prepares a hellish rebuke, and then tackles Orden to the ground and flips over the both of them, one of her skirts, so the outer layer is dunnish, grayish, non-reflective, basically doing everything she can to make the two of them look like a rock propped up against the side of the wall.
Okay.
She's got nothing to fight with, she's got no hit points to live with, and she can't help Bavari, and she can't fight long distance or melee against anybody else. She's hiding.
Roll me stealth. Which is a d20 plus 3.
Okay, I did it in D&D Beyond. I got an 18 plus 2, 20.
Okay.
Do I
I'm
add
sorry.
plus
I
3
was
to
looking at
that?
the wrong sheet. That is great. I'm going to write that down for you.
Okay.
I'm going to keep track of that when this creature looks around. Good. And Belvari, you're unconscious there, so you don't have a turn this time. In the distance...
Doesn't Belvari make a death save?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Belvari, make a death save throw. I forgot about those. Belvari? Oh, there he is.
You're
19.
muted.
Great. So that's a past, a successful death save. That means you are on your way to consciousness. Belvari finds himself in his own private darkness within this greater darkness, struggling to get back towards the light. That is Belvari. Thank you, Matt, for reminding me. In the distance, you hear an iron bell character. Struggling and swinging, and you hear the creaking and groaning of a tree, and you don't know what's going on with that. The woodwode inside the Shambling Mound. He has to make a DC 14 con saving throw. All right. And he fails. He's going to take some damage from that. You hear the crunching and groaning of wood from within the mound. It makes a sort of, normally it wouldn't matter, but it makes a kind of sickening sound. It's because you know what is happening. It's not quite digestion, but it is something unpleasant, you can imagine.
It's so bad.
Domesticative.
In the oh no, I'm sorry. Now it is Diamondback's turn.
Yeah, so I'm going to, staying very low, creep along, staying low and in the darkness.
Following Yoshka?
Following Yoshka, basically. But I'm only going to go 30 feet because I don't have any fancy stuff.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cast a chill touch
On who?
on Vorak.
What's the range
So
of your
just-
chill touch?
120 feet.
Okay.
Just a reminder, Matt. Also, Neno handed out. It wasn't clear because
Right.
we were just kind of figuring out how that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. Diamondback has not used it. And I roll a 19
Diamondback.
versus Vorak's armor class. Oh wait, no, I don't roll, do I?
I don't know.
Actually, no, I do. Yeah, sorry. So it's a 19 to hit.
So Diamondback reaches into his pouch, pulls out two things, and rubs them between his hands.
It's just the one thing. It's a skin of the slender fur chimpanzee.
Aha. And he rubs that skin between his hands for that component, sounding almost like the slithering of a snake. And casts Chill Touch towards Vorak. And this is just against his AC, is that what you were saying?
Yep.
It hits a spectral hand, reaches up from the ground, grabbing at his feet and shins. What does it do? How much damage?
That's going to be a nice chunky 7.
7 damage.
7 damage, and if he happens to attack me before his next turn, he has disadvantage. But I'm hoping that he won't even see me because I'm crouched way back in the dark, and that nobody will see me or even know that I'm here.
Sounds good. So the iron in the distance.
Living the Belvari dream.
That's right. In the distance, one of the Iron Bell, y'all are all focused on these guys. There's not very many left. One of the Iron Bell does 2 just brutally successful attacks on this woodwode it is standing next to, getting a 19 and a 20. And it does some meaningful damage to it. You hear the hollow thunk of the Iron Bell's mace as it just bludgeons this woad. There's more groaning from out in the forest, and you hear more sounds from out there. Another Iron Bell takes a hit at this same woodwode, doing the exact same kind of attacks, getting a 22. Man, these guys are on it. And a critical miss. Okay, they were on it. This Iron Bell takes his mace, and he just swings with one of them super hard, hitting that woodwode. But the next swing that he makes misses significantly. Let's see how he misses. Rolling a second d20. Okay, and he does fine. He misses hard, stumbles a little bit, but doesn't do, thankfully for him, does not hurt any of his comrades. And finally, the last opponent that's standing there that you see. Actually, I think there's one more after this. Yeah, one more after this. Both of those miss. And that's it for now. Okay, the woodwode retaliates against the one that hit it very severely. And it is going to attempt to get vengeance for the damage that it did. It swings its big club at the guy who rolled a 19 and a 20, itself rolling a 15 and a 19, which is pretty good, and those both hit. Let's see what happens to this Iron Bell. He's a little bit hurt, and you see these attacks land. To everybody's surprise, this Iron Bell, though his legs are smashed by the club and his torso smashed in the other direction, and he windmills, kind of cartwheels in the air, lands on the ground profoundly damaged, but not dead, you can tell by the weak moans. Toll, it is your turn, and then Inkatink.
So I guess if he's in range, I'll throw another acid arrow at the Iron Bell that was just downed.
Yeah, you can do that. You have to walk a little bit around the edge of the town. They're past your line of sight, but only about maybe 15 feet. And you'll be able to see them.
Yeah, let's do that.
That puts you into the bright light, but you're right against the town, the wall. You're like hugging the wall.
All right.
Do it.
All right. Is a 21 to hit.
That definitely hits. How much damage do you do?
All right. 44 acid damage immediately. And then 2d4 damage.
I heard 44.
Yes, 4d4. Which is pretty hefty. And it does 2d4 at the end of the victim's next turn, but it doesn't seem like he's going to survive this. So
yeah. So how much damage do you do? Right immediately.
14.
Okay.
For the first
yeah.
one.
So this acid arrow, Toll has crept along the edge of the wall, and reaching into his component pouch, deftly squeezes the component or components necessary to cast this, and the mist around him, which is barely visible in the bright white light, forms in his palm and emerges from the shaft of his wrist out as an arrow. It goes, and rather than piercing into this iron bell, it seems to splash against the surface of his skin, neck, and chest. The iron bell writhes in agony and then stops writhing surprisingly quickly.
Yes.
This young man, who was not the one of the two engulfed in fairy fire, is dead. Okay. It is now Inkatink's turn.
So Inkatink looks around and he sees a wood, right?
A shambling mound about 15 feet from you to your southwest, and the woodwoads to your southeast. A woodwode fighting a handful of Iron Bell, including Vorak.
Right. Okay. I think that Inkatink is going to go over to Belvari, who's down, and tend to him. So nobody else is there, right?
Neno is nearby but hiding. You won't be able to get there this turn, but you can get about 80%.
So no one is
away.
tending to Belvari currently?
No one is.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll move to him.
Okay. You're going to dash?
Yes. Okay. I will use my bonus action to dash.
Okay.
And if using that bonus action to dash leaves me close enough to cast Spare the Dying, I do that.
How far can Spare the Dying reach?
I believe Spare the Dying is a touch, but...
Let me check.
Sorry about that. Got to get a judge's ruling.
It says... Yeah, range touch. So you're not close enough, but you will be able to get close enough next time without dashing.
So then he'll use his bonus action to dash, his move action. Oh, okay. That's what you're saying is I have to. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks. I guess I'm at Belvari.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see here. And if I'm not mistaken, give me 1 second. I'm looking to see. Okay, that'll do for now. So, Inkatink, that was you. You just did that. We are going to... Iron Bell is attacking the same woodwode. This guy has fairy fire on him. He attacks twice at this woodwode that has just severely damaged, but he does not manage to do anything to it. And I need to roll my standard. There we go. Oops, my mouse. Where's the mouse? There it is. Another one goes. Thank you. Let's see. Sorry, one sec. This guy manages to hit the woodwode once, doing some damage. Let's record that. So another Iron Bell just swings his mace at him. This woodwode is just being like pummeled by maces, and isn't enjoying it too much. And finally, you hear in the forest, in the woods, you hear a little bit more chaos from just off in the distance somewhere. You're not sure where. Iron Bell and creaking of trees. Not too many. Vorak's turn. Vorak sees his minion dying, and though he doesn't care much about the minion, he is chagrined at the loss of at the tactical disadvantage from this. He himself goes again to hit this woodwode. Misses. Man, Vorak's just not doing it today. And that is it. You hear more creaking in the distance. It is Yoshka, then Neno, then Belvari will make a death save.
Okay, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on
That same
Vorak
group?
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a DC 14 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we've got. And I'm sorry, and it's DC 14 con?
Dex.
Dex, okay. Okay, another guy starts glowing. Now there are 3 glowing guys.
But not Vorak.
Not yet. I haven't rolled everybody yet. I was just telling you.
Still, that's fantastic. The fight just gets a little bit brighter each time.
That's right. Vorak. Right.
So,
and then finally, sorry, let me look here. And that was interesting. Okay. Last one. Wow. Okay. So standing there, a couple of guys. Sorry, you don't know that. What you do see is Yoshka again pulls this, has several of these in his hand. He crushes another one and focuses out at Vorak, attempting to engulf him, calling on the aid of the unknown Fae, bringing their magic into this place. This time, Yoshka seems to have been favored by fate and the Fae. Vorak becomes alight with fairy fire, as does the woodwode.
Go team!
And 5 Iron Bell standing in the group. So you see Vorak, the woodwode, and 5 glowing Iron Bell. Yoshka, what color do they glow?
The brightest yellow I can manage.
Okay, yellow it is. The light begins to
Nice.
flicker. What happens now is the light is flickering and dimming as it has been for a little bit. Actually, you know what? It continues to flicker a little bit. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting dimmer, and you can tell that the spell is losing its effect. That was Yoshka. Next is Neno. You are hidden to the best of your ability, as far as you can tell, and there you go.
I whisper to Orden, silence. And then I take my left hand And I lay it on the ground, and I flip it over, and I lay it on the ground again, and I flip it over, and I'm mouthing something, but the sound isn't coming out, and Orden can't hear what I'm saying, and the laying and flipping I'm doing so subtly under the umbrella of the rock that there should be no motion of
Okay.
the cloth.
The rock being
This is
your skirts.
rock.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is me praying, but nobody knows it.
Okay.
Knows me well enough to know what's up.
Okay, sounds good. The Treant, the big creature that was shambling, this tree-like creature who just smashed Belvari, it strides. Let me look at my thing here. It strides right past you, Inkatink. Does not seem to be mindful of you. You're not sure what's going on, but it goes into the brightly lit area. Seems to make a kind of hollow roarish sound for a weird tree thing that's walking around. The path behind it is just ripped open earth, as though it's dragging its sort of rooty feet through the soil. Neno, and you just stay still, Neno. Belvari, please roll me a death saving throw.
There it is.
That sounded like a death rattle. I hope it's all okay.
9.
That's a fail.
Oh, that's a failure.
So Neno, I'm sorry, not Neno, Belvari, again, still lost somewhere in his own unconsciousness, struggling to get up, out of the darkness to the surface, to the light, to the awakeness again. This time sinks a little deeper. The Iron Bell, I'm going to roll several of these Iron Bell at once. Oh, sorry, no, actually, that's a different thing. These guys, we're just going to do this, and they go... And you hear more thudding and shouting from what seemed to be an Iron Bell guy out in the darkness somewhere, and the groaning and shaking of some more of these trees. This awakened tree. One sec. Okay. This Woodwode needs to roll his DC whatever saving throw against the Shambling Mound again. 14, sorry. What was that? That was con saving throw. Okay. And the Shambling Mound shambles further. Now we're going to do these Iron Bell attacks. The Woodwode Iron Bell fight. The Woodwode goes next. The one that is now fairy fired, and it is attacking. It is fighting Vorak, who it perceives to be the greatest threat at the moment. It has advantage because Vorak is fairy fired, and it is going to see if it can do any damage. Let's see. All right. It does land a blow. In particular, it hit it. Okay, so this Woodwode creature takes its giant club and swings twice at Vorak. One doesn't seem to land well. Perhaps it's distracted by all the bright yellowish light illuminating all of them all of a sudden. But it does land something solidly on him, and Vorak groans and exclaims under the pressure of the blow. The Iron Bell go to attack as well, getting advantage on the Woodwode. Landing a blow, but not doing too much damage. And sorry, the last one is this guy. That's a hit. And a, with advantage, miss. All right. So thanks for being patient. And it does bam. All right, fine. Toll. The Shambling Mound. The Shambling Mound here's all this bam, bam, bam with these clubs and the tonking of the woodwoads, and it begins to shamble directly towards them. It moves towards them and is going to take a slam attack into the closest one, who is Vorak. It is going to slam twice into Vorak. It's going to try to. This has advantage too because of the light, right?
Uh-huh.
All right.
All the attacks on Vorak
are made at
got a
advantage.
It's
halo
at advantage,
bullseye of spooky.
and it rolls a natural 20 on one of them. So it's going to double its So Vorak is fighting this woodwode when behind it gets slammed by this mound of vegetation that itself is making the thumping and groaning of another woodwode from within. The mound hits Vorak, and it does that much damage. And because it hit twice, I'm going to interpret the rules here, whatever. Because it hit twice, it says when it does so, it envelops it. It reaches over and completely consumes Vorak.
Wait. Isn't there something already inside of the Shambling Mound?
The other one had already failed its check and been digested and consumed. It can only have one in the hopper at a time, but it had already fully consumed the other one.
Pulling Vorak in, and the other woodwode falls out behind it.
Doesn't it just like consume it and make it part of its mass?
I think if
it would have to kill it for that.
If the creature dies.
I thought you did. I thought you killed it last round.
Did a fair bit of damage, but...
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Now it has taken in a new thing, and we will see what happens with it. So this Shambling Mound is now there. Toll, it is your turn again. Your acid arrow struck true and did good, quote-unquote, good things for your party to this poor, unfortunate soul. What would you like to do now? Inkatink, you're next.
How far away from me is Belvari's corpse?
You see Inkatink...
Hey, I'm not a corpse yet.
That's right. You see...
I thought how many times do you have to fail?
3.
You can fail 3 times.
Oh, okay.
You see Inkatink running around to where you heard a clamor. From where you are now, you have a good guess that Belvar... You can't actually see him anymore because of the arc of the town wall, but you're pretty sure he is about 60 feet from you.
And the only way to help him is to heal him somehow, right? There's no...
No, a player can help another player just kind of it can stabilize them. So
health check.
Yeah, you can go and just as a matter of course, if you're helping your opponent, if you're helping your ally and no one's like interfering, attacking or whatever, you can just stabilize them and bring them back to consciousness.
Well, it takes a check.
Oh, it takes a check. Is it what kind of check is that? It's 50-50, right? On D10?
Medicine.
Oh, okay.
It's a medicine check, but I think it's a D10.
Okay.
It's a DC 10.
DC-10. So Toll, you see Inkatink running that way at least, and you see this huge tree creature type of thing striding somehow into the clearing. It is about 10 feet from you. No, probably about 20 feet from you.
Okay, then I think it would be wise to relocate anyway. So I'm sorry, did you say I could get to Belvari in one move, or...
No, you could dash and like just make it, but you wouldn't be able to do anything till next turn. Though to do that, you'll be running. Sorry. You'll be running near the giant tree creature, not near enough to provoke an opportunity attack, but you'll run to within about 8 feet of it or 10 feet.
Okay, so can I move toward Belvari, but go into the shadows first?
No.
I can't. Okay.
Can it go around the outside of the city, approaching from the other side?
He would. So to go from him to Belvari, he's at approximately 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30 on the loop of the city. Belvari is at about 12:30, so he'll have to go most of the way around the city, and to do that would take him pretty close to the fairy fire people who are all enshrouded. He can. I'm just saying that's about how, that's where the layout is. This giant tree creature is about 15 feet from the wall at about 10:30 on the clock, if 12 o'clock is north. So you see, if you run along the wall, you're going to be running, within about 10, 15 feet of this creature.
Right.
8, 10 feet.
So I guess I'm sorry, Belvari. I do have something that can help you if you do pass away. So just take that to heart.
Nice.
I'm gonna go after Vorak, I guess.
He's died before. I've seen him do it.
Vorak is currently inside the Shambling Mound.
Oh, right.
There are, however, 5 other Iron Bell that you can see enshrouded with fairy fire, and now 2 Woodwoads, one of which has fairy fire.
Yeah, I'll go after the Iron Bell. I guess whichever one looks the least well off.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I can cast that from where I am, or am I blocked? Because I have 90 feet of range on Acid Arrow.
No, you're in a good position. You have line of sight to them. You also are in the light, but you're right near the front gate of the town, which faces eastward, and you are kind of up against the wall, so hoping to not be seen too much.
Right, okay. So I get advantage on that?
You do.
All right. First one was an 11. Second one was a 12. Not great.
Yep, no, you hit him.
Oh, okay. I will take it.
Yeah. How much damage do you do?
Initially, I will do 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's another 2d4 at the end of its next turn. Should I roll that now?
Yeah, why don't you roll that now and we'll keep track of that. I'll tell you which one.
6.
Okay. So Toll is fires another one of these acid arrows that just seem to emerge from his arm magically. He's got one hand in his pouch and is just, doing something in that component pouch that's causing these acid arrows to emerge down from his forearm, out his palm, and he's just shooting this. If any of you are seeing this, you might be thinking things like that he is some kind of acid archer. He is a shrewd bowman if he had a bow. But it splashes against this iron bell and it causes him to collapse, writhing. He's not dead, but it is serious damage. Inkatink, you are about 15 feet from Belvari, running towards him. He is collapsed on the ground. What would you like to do? And the tree past you, not seeming to care much about you, and it is now behind you.
So Inkatink is going to use part of his movement to get to Belvari, and then he's going to pull out a lurid pink piece of root and snap his thumb down on the root, and he holds it over Belvari's face when he does it. You see a big, bright flash of light, and Belvari is stabilized.
You spared the dying Belvari.
I did.
Good. Belvari, put yourself back at 1 hit point.
Nice. See if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Inkatink then turns and looks at all of the Iron Bell guys huddled up, fighting with the woodwoods, and
so, wait, real quickly, Belvari
Go
had
ahead.
actually gone around. He was at about the north side, at about 12:30 on a clock of Miradau.
Okay.
These guys are
Yeah.
at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So they're actually out of line of sight. They're opposite the city,
okay.
the town from you.
Sure. In that case, you see him reach into his pouch and pull out a centipede, and he starts moving in their direction.
Which way around the clock there? Neither way shorter.
Okay. In that case, I think
Clockwise
he's going...
is darkness. Counterclockwise is towards the front of the town where it's lighter.
Yeah, he'll go counterclockwise into the light.
All right. So Inkatink uses a component and spares Belvari's life using the spell Spare the Dying. And immediately, as soon as he sees Belvaria stabilized, turns around and begins again back into the light where it is less dangerous. However, this flickering, faltering light, as quickly as it came, collapses back down. This bright white sphere in the center of the clearing shimmers, quakes for a moment, and collapses into itself. You are once again completely enshrouded in black. You can still, from far away, see the cluster of fairy-fired Iron Bell, and you can even still see a glowing within the Shambling Mound of Vorak writhing and struggling inside. There is also somewhere in the darkness now sort of adrift, a glowing tree. None of you are very close to it. And a loud, roaring, kind of groaning, walking tree shape is near the center, near the north side of the clearing, near the town.
There's probably a bonfire burning somewhere right now.
Yeah, there's a smoldering bonfire. Sorry, not smoldering. A blazing bonfire. It seems to only be near a bloody puddle.
Probably going to last for another minute, right?
Yeah, for a little bit. It's glowing and burning, not casting very much light. It's casting a dim light for about 20 feet, illuminating the southwest side of the clearing, where the kind of jailish transportation circle is.
Is that my bonfire?
That is the one. No, that's the one that yours is. Yours may actually still be glowing a little north of that as well. This one was the one that somebody cast on Vorak. Diamondback cast on Vorak.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I mean, mine's still burning too until I have to cast another one.
Yeah.
Somebody else cast it,
Oh, somebody else did.
but it's all right. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So, yeah, Iron Bell, these are going to strike out at the Treant. I'm going to roll these rolls a little faster here. I made a shortcut. And 1, 2. All right. Of these guys, 2 of them hit the woodwode. So these fairy-fired guys they're going at each other. You can only tell that because they're illuminated. So you see them, the glowing forms. If you were from a different time and place, you might even say it looks kind of like Tron figures fighting. Yeah, very good. But you wouldn't say that here. This creature takes... This woodwode, I should say, takes some damage. Let me check. All right. And... Good. It is now the big tree creature. It is suddenly engulfed in the darkness again. Toll, you see, you can feel, I should say, and hear this tree creature. It walks, it sort of destroys the ground in this clearing as it goes directly towards the town wall and makes 2 massive blows with with 2 of its branches. Bam, bam, trying to hit the wall, which it does. And the wall creaks and groans, and bits of splintering wood smash out of it as it is, working at it with its flailing branches. Vorak needs to make a saving throw. He does not succeed on that. And he takes a little bit of damage here from being inside this mound of rolling, shambling, crazy foliage. You hear him groan and cry out. Not seemingly dead, but in terrible shape. I don't know if he has the ability to try to get out of it, or does it just definitely have him?
That's what the con save is for, right?
It
Or
doesn't
no?
say that.
I think
It
the
just
con
says,
save is.
or take damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think
Oh, you
they
know
just
what?
stay in there, don't they?
It's grappling. He's grappled.
Right.
So I don't know what.
Surely you've got disadvantage to get out of that.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Does anybody know how being grappled works off the top of your heads?
I think you have to.
There's grappled and then there's restrained. Is he restrained as well as grappled?
It just
Grappled
says-
just means that you're holding on to somebody and you can like pull them and push them, but they still get their action.
Okay.
But they don't get their movement on their own. Restrained means that they don't get to move and they also don't get to take an action.
Oh, okay. It says he's grappled.
But in this case, it's.
Go ahead.
Hold on. In this case, it's like grappled, restrained, and can't breathe, right?
Yes. And he just took damage for that, not being able to breathe. But it does actually tell what his escape roll is. So I just, in the details. Which is just a regular DC, not any particular stat. So. Which he succeeds. Vorak manages to crawl out of this Shambling Mound in horrible, horrible shape. Yoshka, then Neno, then Belvari. You hear groaning and sounds from the forest. Yoshka,
If
it's your
we're
turn.
back up at the top of the order, should I not have gotten a turn?
Did you not get a turn? Didn't you cast something? Sorry. Take your turn. I might have missed you.
Who do I go after?
Normally you go in the middle of a whole bunch of Iron Bell, right before the Woodwood that just got bumped out. There's
Which
nobody...
of my teammates is directly is
Belvari.
closest to before me?
Belvari and Neno.
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't think I actually had a turn this round either.
We haven't gotten.
Belvar. Oh.
We have not gotten to you yet, Belvari.
Gotcha.
These
My
are
last
long
action was
turns.
praying, so if you've done anything since the prayer, that was you.
Yeah. If we all make a concerted effort at speeding up our turns, it'll.
No, I guess I have not done anything since Neno's praying.
Okay, nobody has on except for the people whose turn it was. Yoshka, it's your turn.
Wait, so Matt, I thought you went after Nano and you haven't done anything.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Isn't
sorry.
that what
Right,
you're-
I misunderstood that. You haven't done anything since Neno's praying. So take your turn. You
I
can
have
take
not.
that turn now, Matt. Dynamite.
Okay. How far am I from? So the guy, would he have gotten spit out before my turn or after?
After.
Okay, so when I take my turn, he's still in there. So I'm not going to shoot at him. I'm going to go ahead and send an Eldritch Blast at whichever of the. My turn is after the light goes out, though, right?
It is. This
Yeah.
will be right before the light goes out. There's still
So
light.
still have the light.
Yeah.
In that case, I will have looked to see which of the fairy fired Iron Bell look the weakest. Failing that, I would have just picked one at random and shot an Eldritch Blast at them, which I have 120 foot range on.
Do it.
All right, here comes Eldritch Blast with advantage. So, ugly, really bad. That's only going to be a 9 to hit.
Does not hit.
Yeah, so an Eldritch Blast goes frown
Yep.
off into the distance.
A sort of
And that's my
blast
turn.
of dark magical force goes near, and it causes a shimmering like heat through everything, but doesn't actually manage to hit anything.
But I do want to go my 30 feet along the edge of the light,
Okay.
closer to where, closer to like the Shambling Mound and Vorak.
Yeah, you actually catch up to Yoshka doing that.
Okay, so I'm by Yoshka.
Yeah, you're more or less, you're within a couple of feet of him.
Awesome.
Okay, so the light has now gone out. It is Yoshka's turn. Diamondback has just caught up to you, but the light is now out.
Is there still any light coming through the cracks of the basket town?
There is.
Okay. I'm going to cast Dancing Lights right up near that wood.
Which one? The one that has fairy fire?
The
Actually,
one
they're
that's
both
banging on the wall.
Sorry, yeah, the one banging on the wall is not a wood. He's a giant tree creature.
Okay.
Like a tree, like an awakened tree.
Okay. I am going to cast my Dancing Lights right up on him, and you can do it so that all four of them are together as like this light person of vaguely humanoid form, and he's going to try to attract his attention. So like walk around in front of him, and if possible, like start walking towards the Iron Bell if he catches his attention.
Okay. Let me see here. You can move it on your turn. Light must be within 20 feet. So roll for me a... let's roll a... I'm going to treat this as a kind of marionette that you're doing with the lights, since you can move them and such. And roll me a performance check.
Okay.
As
his specialty.
Never underestimate the power of good illusion
25.
in the hands of the ball.
Okay, 25. I'm writing it down, and I'm going to have him roll against that, which is a very high roll. On his turn, I'm going to have him, that tree creature, roll maybe something like an intelligence check or something against it. Yeah, I'll probably do intelligence. Okay, you'll find out if he gets distracted when that happens. Sound good? Okay. Neno, your turn. The tree sound has gone far away. Sorry, not far away. It has passed you. It is not close to you anymore, but you can hear it thumping on the wall about 40 feet around the curve of the wall from you.
So Neno still has no way to help in the fight, but she feels safer now that the tree is around/behind.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to grab Orden and scoot over as close to Belvari as she can get. I think she's pretty close. I think she can get to Belvari.
All the way,
and
yeah.
she's just going to recreate rock formation right next to Belvari and keep up the praying every now and again, touching him.
Okay, sounds good. Roll me a new stealth with advantage. You're in pitch black now. It's a +5, so just roll a d20 twice, +5 to the higher one. Okay, so an 18. That's good. Belvari, you are conscious. Inkatink he came up and awakened you. He roused you out of your sort of unconsciousness and quickly left, but Neno has now joined you.
Okay. How far am I from bad things?
There is nothing that you know of around you. You're on the north side of Miradau, but that's, as far as you can tell, nothing super close to you. About 60 feet around Miradau, counterclockwise. So to your, if you're facing north, it's to your left. About 60 feet counterclockwise around Miradau is this tree thing that just smashed you, now smashing the wall of the city, of the town. Hamlet.
Okay. And do I see any light or anything?
It's pitch black, except that the town the light within the town that was bright white, that was kind of getting through the cracks of the wall, is doing that. It's still doing that.
Gotcha. I don't even know. I guess I will just like,
You could heal yourself if you have something.
yeah, I could if I had something. I will take the hide action. I don't know what it does, but it looks like what I want to do.
It means that
Dexterity stealth check.
say it again.
I make a dexterity stealth check.
Good.
How's a 20 unnatural?
That's good. That's great. I will record that for you and use that for information. Diamondback, it's your turn.
So, how far away from me is Vorak?
About 60 feet now.
60 feet away from me.
It
And it's real dark right now.
in this cluster.
But he's glowing.
He is glowing, and in this cluster of glow, you can see the Woodwode, 5 Iron Bell, Vorak, and the Shambling Mound. Sorry, 2 Woodwodes, 5 Iron Bell, Vorak, and a Shambling Mound, all in this giant brawl.
Okay. I'm going to walk forward 30 feet to within 30 feet of Vorak. Because it's pitch black.
It is.
And I think that they won't be able to see me. And then I'm gonna blast him with an Eldritch Blast
Okay,
with advantage.
good.
Wow, just some really bad rolls here. 4 plus 4 is going to be an 8 against his AC.
That does not do it. It's pitch black here. So,
I waste another Eldritch Blast.
you know,
Diamondback has tasted from the bitter cup of the whiff multiple times in this banquet.
so
Yeah.
excuse me. And let me see here. Okay, so here's that was Diamondback's turn. Before we get to this next set where there's the Woodwodes and everything, what you actually see happen is, to your surprise, all of the remaining that you can tell, all of the remaining Iron Bell have sort of clustered together, some by choice and some not, with these 2 Woodwodes and so forth. And sorry, give me 1 second. I need to. Nope, not that. There it is. Sorry, 1 sec. Okay, there we go. Bloop. Do it. Sorry, D&D Beyond's taking a little bit of lag there. I'm not blaming D&D Beyond. I'm just saying there's a little bit of lag. Okay. Here's what you see. From within Mirrodau, you hear Garriot's voice. You can't hear what he's saying, but he's not mumbling, not shouting. He's doing something almost incantational. And though Mirrodau is illuminated, and you can actually, if any of you were able to see up that high, some of y'all don't have line of sight. Yoshka and Diamondback, you do have line of sight to Mirrodau. You see him pop up above the surface, above the layer of the top of Mirrodau's wall, and he's doing something with that you recognize to be with components. What you finally see is these sheets, is the best way to describe them, of flame. They are 10-foot cubes of flame that start emerging on top of the Woodwodes and the Iron Bell. Let's see. This is, for anybody who's know, this is the storm. This is the spell Firestorm.
Nasty.
A storm made up of sheets of roaring flame appear in a location that you choose within range.
That's horrifying.
The area of the storm consists of up to 10-foot cubes of flame, which you can arrange as you wish. Garrett can arrange as he wishes. Each cube must have at least one face adjacent to the face of another cube. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity savings throw. If successful, it takes damage. Sorry, if it fails, it takes damage. If successful, it takes half as much damage. The fire damages objects in the area and ignites anything flammable as long as it's not being worn or carried. Plant life may either be affected or unaffected at the DM's choosing. At the person casting's choice. I'm casting for him. The woodwoads count as plant, and so does the Shambling Mound, and so I'm going to say that his intent includes that. Let's see what happens. First, I'm going to roll for damage. I got to get the dice. Give me a sec. And I'm just going to roll one damage roll for everything, and, if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4... Come on, where are these dice?
Come on, big money.
5, 6, 7. There we go. See what we got. All right. Okay. So here's what happens. Garriott makes these kind of cubes of fire just suddenly appear, and they occupy all of the space as densely as possible where these creatures are. Iron Bell and otherwise. What you see as these guys roll a Dex savings throw, you see the first of the Iron Bell that it touches is almost instantly incinerated. You're not sure if you can't see him because of the flame, or if he has been reduced to nothing, but you don't see him immediately after a moment. He is severely, severely damaged, or gone, or whatever. The next one, and I'm saying these in order because I'm rolling a Dex savings throw for each one.
Can a body really do that? Vaporize? Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
One of them, another one just seems to almost sublimate. However, right at the same time that happens, there is a third one that seems to kind of melt with acid damage, also dying. It is the one that Toll struck previously. It takes its damage, and it is enough to kill that one. It falls to the ground, also invisible.
Nice.
Sorry, scrolling through. There we go. And one Iron Bell was deeply wounded. I'm not even going to roll for that one because if it takes half damage, he still dies. And the Woodwoad. One of the Woodwoads rolls a Dex savings throw. Fails that throw and is engulfed in flame. It burns and shrieks and howls, falling to its feet, and you can't tell whether or not it's going to die, but in fact, it does. It becomes an ashen heap on the floor. The next Woodwoad, who is standing there, also fails. The same flame engulfs it, but it does not die. It is consumed with fire and itself on fire, but is still angry and howling. The wind now howling through it like a whistle as it, burns. Let's see what these guys roll.
All the wet wood begins to scream and hiss as it gets superheated.
That's right. 2 more Iron Bell are engulfed in the fire. However, they don't die. They are severely burned all over their bodies. The Shambling Mound, which is slow and cumbersome, fails its throw, and it is lit aflame but not killed. There are now remaining, just to give you a sense. Oh, I'm sorry, and Vorak. Vorak
Yeah, Vorak.
succeeds. So, instead of being burned to a blackened crisp, he still retains some of his original color as he collapses to the ground dead.
Nice.
At the end of this,
we'll take it.
at the end of this, here's what you see. Crispy. This area is illuminated by this flaming torrent coming out of nowhere. It seems to, for those of you who can see, it seems to take its toll on Garrett. He's exhausted by this. What you do see left at the end of this is the Shambling Mound, significantly damaged but not dead. One wood woad, burning and unable to move well, not quite dead. 2 Iron Bell, who were able to avoid the most severe burns of the flame, are themselves charred badly but not quite dead. And Vorak collapses dead. So what's left? The Shambling Mound, a wood woad, and 2 Iron Bell.
Can we cast Expeditious Retreat on the bell and they run away quickly?
They get to do whatever they want with the ability to move. So if they run away, they run away. But if they don't, they can also, like, I don't know, run around in circles really fast. Just saying, you can't make them retreat. Okay. Let's see. The Shambling Mound, it's his turn. Oh, actually, I'm going to do the Woodwood real quickly. He, in flames, strikes out against the Iron Bell. Hits both of them. He does... He didn't have to kill them both, but he actually did. The Woodwoad killed both of them. If he had rolled his minimums, they wouldn't have. But it is now the Shambling Mound and the Woodwoad left, both ablaze. Toll, it is your turn.
Job well done. Report back.
Yeah, I don't think I want to pick a fight with either of them.
Okay.
We're not really congregated anywhere.
You're standing at the entrance to Miradau, and there's a giant tree beating at it, at its wall.
Oh.
It's a little bit far from you. It's about 10, 15 feet north of you. That's the only remaining creature. That's there's the Shambling Mound and the Woodwood that are fighting.
And so the one that's beating on the wall is not on fire, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The awakened trees seem to.
Sorry.
The awakened trees seem to follow noise, whereas the other ones seem to follow light.
Vice versa.
So this is cruel, but can we... Pardon?
The Shambling Mound followed sound. The tree was going towards light things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not all the awakened trees can move. Just this one is awakened to motion.
Can we glow up the panther somehow and send it off in a direction?
Well, I have components for dancing lights, so I think I might just do that.
And we don't know yet how Yoshika's dancing lights turned out, do we?
Yeah, it's not his turn yet. Not the tree creature's turn.
Oh, that's true. There's no reason to do it.
It'll be his
here.
turn next.
Okay. Can I just go to Belvari?
Yeah. You're going to want to swing a wide circle around the back of this tree. It's pitch black, but there's light shimmering. You can tell where it is against the wall. You swing a wide circle. You can get most of the way to Belvari. This
And
time.
Yoshka's with Belvari, right?
Yoshka's with Diamondback out in the darkness somewhere, but Neno is with Belvari.
Okay, yeah. I'll
And I
I'm
do
trying to
have one
group up, so-
hit point if that matters. I'm not death saving anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still gonna do that just so I can
Okay.
group up with people.
Okay. It's the Awakened Tree's turn. I'm going to roll against Yoshka's 25 performance with these lights. And it gets a 9. It does definitely not get anything out of that. Yoshka,
Good job, Yoshka.
this figure that you've created out of these lights, this humanoid-ish figure, kind of seems to meander around. And what, do you want to make it kind of move away from the wall, or what are you trying to do? The tree
I
does seem
apologize. I had to
distracted.
step away, and so I've missed some of what happened. But my plan was to lure it away and towards the Iron Bell,
Okay.
if there are still any left.
If
Not just towards that western path exit.
Okay. So going towards that western path exit, it will it'll pass near the Woodwoad and the Shambling Mound that are fighting, but it won't actually be like, it won't fight them. It won't get that close to them.
Okay.
So that's
I guess
it.
I would go for the Shambling Mound then.
Towards it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize they were up to.
Okay. You send the tree, and it is distracted, and it'll be your turn to move the light. That's as an action on your turn, you can move the light, and so I'm kind of conflating these. But you move the tree towards the Shambling Mound, and it gets there on its turn. It is now the Shambling Mound, the Woodwoad, and the tree left. So we're just let's go ahead and move out of initiative, because those three are kind of occupied with each other, and you are not near. None of you are near them. They're about 45 feet southwest of the town, and they seem to be distracted by each other. And you guys are all Yoshka and Diamondback are almost due west of the town. You're deep in the darkness, and you can't you know where the town is. You can very faintly see the light from the town, but you can't see the road. It's pitch black. All of the rest of you, Inkatink, Neno, Belvari, and Toll, are on the kind of northwestern quadrant of the town. You can come together. And also I just lost his name. Not Dolomite. Orden. So,
Well, if we come together, I would ask Neno to quickly go gather up any component pouches from the fallen Iron Bell with her veil. Anything that looks good in that, go help her do that.
With her veil,
Great idea.
the magic that she sees with the veil appears like the black swirling, but you are in black swirling, so she won't be able to see, like, to locate it.
Touche.
But you have your torch, right?
Yeah, I guess I would just beckon us to go pilfer the enemies, and then while doing that, send a message to first look for Garriott. See if I can see him peeking up.
So let me give you a quick cautionary insight. I think you might sense it. I think your players would know this. Sorry, no, your characters would know this, but so I'm just telling you what your characters probably know. It's still a false night, still super dangerous. There are awakened trees around. To go look through the enemy stuff, you're going to be going far-ish from Mirrodau, and it's going to take you a while. I'm not saying you can't, but think about the relationship between the threat of being out there versus getting into the town. Whatever you want's fine.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, it's still a dangerous night full of stuff.
Okay, so it's not that group, Vortex and his guys, they're
Vorak.
not like 60 feet away. Yeah.
So
They're 30 feet away from me.
yeah, well they're about a little further than that, but
No,
they-
I walked within 30 feet of Vorak.
Oh, that's right. You
before he
walked
died.
closer. However, the corpses of Vorak, the Iron Bell, and one of the Woodwoads are being trampled underfoot by the Shambling Mound, the other Woodwode, and the big tree right now who are fighting. They're in that same spot where the fire was.
All right. Well, if it doesn't look safe, I would just go up to the gate and if it's just call for Garriott with a message spell, if that seems to make sense, or just with my voice if it doesn't seem like I will.
Yeah.
If I can do it softly and not draw the attention of those big guys.
Okay. So while you're working your way through the darkness to get towards the front of the gate of Miradau, that'll take you a little, not too long, but it's about 100. Let's see. Wait, no, it's about 80 feet away. You're closer than that, Diamondback, but you're in the darkness as well, near one of the little bonfires. It's still glowing slightly. What do you want to do? You don't know what Yoshika's doing.
I can't see Yoshika. Can I actually see the Vorak's body?
No. You
Okay.
can see the
In that
glowing
case-
Woodwode and the fact that they're fighting and on fire and stuff, but you can't make
Yeah.
anything out.
Okay. In that case, I head directly for the front door of Miradau.
Okay.
Post haste.
And the group of Toll, Inkatink, Neno, and Belvari, y'all are kind of north of the town. You're about you can quickly get to the door if you wanted, or you could do something else. What would you like to do?
Go to the door
Okay.
and hide.
Yep.
Sounds good.
It'll be easy. We're next to the basket. We put our left hand on the only thing that's lit up. And
That's
walk.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Inkatink has a cantrip called Thaumaturgy, and so he uses it to, 15 to 30 feet out away from away from the door towards the monsters and further in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a ball of light that's like showering with sparks and is rumbling and shaking the ground. Thaumaturgy, if you cast it a couple of times, you can build up the effect over rounds. And so after 2 rounds, he's got this rumbling, flashing light as a lure to draw them the opposite direction of the door.
Okay. Decrement that by 2 components. And you do that, no problem. All of y'all are good because y'all are right there. Y'all are going to arrive a few seconds before Yoshika. Yoshika's making his way there. He's going to be there 10, 15 seconds after you guys. But as you start arriving, the big kind of wicker wheel of a door on Miradau slides aside, leaving about a 3-foot gap. Normally it's a good, 8-foot diameter. When they open it all the way, there's a good 8 or 10 feet diameter. But it leaves about a 3-foot gap, and you do not see Garriott at the gate, to your surprise. What you do see, opening this. Sorry, hold on. I have a name here. Dang it. Let's see. Nope, that's not it.
You see Gulb smiling, opening the door.
That's right.
And what's her name is right. Shoot, I already forgot her name.
Sleen.
Davina,
And they're glowing
Celine,
blue
they're
like
all-
Force
Davina is
Ghost.
standing next to her, and there's
And
Celine in
something
the
we are
background.
recasting
glowing
whether or
blue.
not we were successful in this battle or if we were being welcomed into Valhalla.
That's right.
So you see two people as this thing rolls open. The town is illuminated inside, although it too is now flickering. What you see is Gevel, the half-orc that you met before, who's kind of the town guard and a leader of the town, if you'll remember. He is the one who is pulling the gate open, and standing about 10 feet back away from there, you see an old widow, a halfling Urella, wringing her hands and waiting. In a moment, she sees Orden,
Orden.
and he sees Urella and just bolts away from you, Neno. He comes out from under your kind of cover of cloak and hugs Urella. He's, safe and at home. You make your way in. Yoshka, you follow in right after these guys as Gevel, is blocking the entrance, peering out. He sees you come. He recognizes you, Yoshka, with your distinctive wayfarer clothing that, he knows who you are and he knows who your party is. And he gets out of the way. Go ahead.
Will my cat be safe in the landing hut?
Let's see. I cannot vouch for it.
Can we open it and try?
None of us are going out. Is this your pet? What is this?
Kind of. He's just a cat. I don't want him to die.
If it's a wild cat, it'll have to rely on its wits. Come in or out.
Okay. I'll cast Speak with Animals and explain to the leopard that they won't let him in, and give him, and I'll decrement all this stuff and say, the best I can do for you, bud, is to give you some more food.
And a little bit of luck.
Okay.
And then go in.
Sounds good. I was just looking to see what the leopard... panther, was it a leopard?
Leopard, you said, yeah.
Leopard, okay.
Saying panther, but okay.
I probably went back and forth. Let me just see. Okay. Its intelligence is 3. It's kind of just a dumb beast, but it kind of meows and purrs at you, and if you toss it a ration or something, it grabs it and then runs off.
Okay.
So you come in. What is it? 9:59. Great. Whew. We didn't take our 10-minute break. I appreciate your patience, guys. You come into the town and you see, if you recall, in the very center of the town is this sort of almost like a piazza. It's not fancy. It's just got some cobblestone, riverstone that's, cobbled, worn smooth, with these flowery hedges that Urella tends. That's, she's old and a widow, and that's all she can. That's how she contributes to the town. Gives wisdom, beautifies it a little bit. And there are some tables. You remember when you came from the woods before, they had some stew waiting for you and so forth. Well, this glowing ball, as you come in, it begins to collapse as well, just like the one outside did, and it collapses to nothing. There are torches, quite a few torches, lit and illuminated, and when Gevel reaches up and rolls this big wickery gate shut, and when I say wicker, of course, I mean it's thickly woven with big, thick bamboo and branches, with living plants growing in it as well, strengthening it. He rolls it into place, and you see him and a couple of the other townsmen come over and lash it with these big latches they have. They lash it closed so they can't be opened easily from the outside. When they do that, you see this shimmering set of lights and glyphs inside the wall. You recognize these. These are sort of a warding that you have seen a long time ago. Some of you saw it around the teleportation circle in that kind of cage. It shimmers and protects the inside of the town, including a dome over top of the town. It shimmers for a few moments in the night light, in the night sky, not sky. It shimmers for a few moments in the night air, and it feels to you as though you are enclosed in a hemisphere of this kind of shimmering reddish orange magic. It fades quickly as that happens, and you don't see it anymore, but you feel that it's still there. Garriott is reclined, even slouched, on a chair. His halfling body is sort of exhausted and slumped in a human-sized chair. He's sitting in the town square and sweating profusely. And as you walk towards the center where, he and several of the other townsfolk are there huddled there around the chairs with the torches. And Garriott says, Are all the bell? Tell me of the bell. How many survived?
They are dead, old timer.
And he sighs a deep sigh. If any of them had survived after I had hurt them, none of us would survive. When Spolash found out. Well, good. And there's still
in Vorak's voice, you hear,
Spolash will
not
hear this.
Can you guys hear Sir Robert? I can't hear him.
I can hear him.
Oh.
Sorry. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me again in a second. Garriott, as soon as he hears Spolash's voice, he turns, but seeing this this large crowish creature arches an eye.
He's a little less than 5 feet tall because he's not standing up straight. Where he's standing up straight, he'd be 5 feet tall. So he's probably, under 4.5 feet. He's crouched a little.
Okay. And wearing some kind of cloak or something?
Mm-hmm. And he has black. In the light, you see that he has black, weirdly shiny, scale-like feathers. Mm-hmm. And his hands don't look like a raven's hands. They look a little bit scalier, like a reptile.
Okay. And
black, like shiny black.
And these torches don't illuminate as much as they should. You can tell it's still the false night. But there's a lot of them. There's a couple dozen of them around this square. And so you've got enough light that you can see well. Garriott asks about the noise that he can hear. What do I hear? What's left outside? Oh gosh, what's left out?
The Shambling Mound and a big tree and one of the other tree guys.
Garriott turns towards Faria, who is, you may remember, this human woman, this lady who tends the storehouse and grows various things for them. And standing next to her is another woman, Taral, another human. She's the lumberjill from before, and says, if you use the magics that I've shown you, that I've taught you, can you take care of them from within the wall? To these two women. The men who are busying themselves, tending to various things. Both of them nod and tell him it won't be a problem. And they go, and you can see several small wooden chests, similar to ones you've seen in Garriott's house before. They're sitting in the square and open. They go and start rifling through a couple of them, the chest, grab some certain things out, and go on the inside of the wall, climb a little bit of scaffolding, and you see them starting
Diamondback follows them.
And you see them starting to use...
Inkatink runs up to the lumberjill, and in the voice of a little girl, and then the lumberjill's voice says, I can help from within the wall.
And neither of them pay much attention to you two, although they're not objecting. It seems like they're just focused on what Garriott was having them do. But they hand you a couple of small, like firebolt and similar kinds of things, and they hand them to you, and they themselves start using them, and they're all right. They're pretty good. You can tell they're not seasoned warriors or anything, but they are landing every several of them. After a few minutes, you end up making relatively short work of the remaining tree, the woodwode, and the Shambling Mound, because you're killing them with fire. And it dies down. Within the town, the orc Alarat, you'll remember he was the lumberjack. He's the husband of Taral, the lumberjill. The orc comes over and puts a big hand gently on Garriott's shoulder and says, you need to rest, old man. Respectfully. Garrett seems pretty satisfied with this, and you see several of the other men of the town and different people standing at various points. You assume they also are equipped with some low-level components that they, are able to use. Garrett looks around at each of you for a moment, and seeing especially Belvari, in bad shape, tells each of you, or tells all of you, I should say. He tells all of you, "Oh, these good folk, they're going to keep watch on the town tonight for as long as the night is night. You're welcome to take a rest, nice long rest in their homes. They'll show you where." And he himself starts to get out of the chair, but Alarat, the orc, will have none of it. He picks him up in his hand and walks Garrett to his house. You see him emerge about a minute, 30 seconds later, and he closes the door behind him, folds his arms, and he's big like Gulb was, folds his arms, and he's got all that lumberjack size where he's not only an orc, but he's just a beast. Folds his arms, stands in front of Garrett's door, and just doesn't move. The rest of you, various ones from the town, come to you and, are happy for you to make arrangements if any of you would like to particularly be with each other in terms of, each other and safety and stuff, but none of you feel threatened. There are some halfling homes that are the right size for those of you who are smaller. There are some human and orc homes with beds and hay the right size for those of you who are larger. Before you hit the hay, as it were, would any of you like to do anything? Is there anything you'd like to say or do before going?
Belvari says, "Don't sleep. There are snakes." And then he goes to sleep.
Inkatink gets as high as he possibly can up in the rafters, supports, ceiling of this basket. I know that Garrett popped out the top and was casting. So Inkatink's going to try to sleep as close to the parapet,
scaffolding,
the zenith of the basket as possible.
Okay, so the basket's only about 12 feet high, so there's it doesn't actually close much at the top, but there is this sort of warding that you can tell, this magical warding that's making a dome over it. But there is scaffolding, sort of makeshift scaffolding everywhere that is used for watch. You're welcome to sleep on part of that.
He does. He grabs some and he modifies some of it and makes a bit of a nest at the top,
Okay.
And he pushes it up as high as he can.
Sounds good.
All right.
Diamondback? Okay.
I go to sleep.
Aaron Joy? Neno?
Neno cries a little bit as she's falling asleep and digs a little divot in the earth and catches a couple tears and then smooths over the divot and then falls right asleep.
Urella invites you to stay at her house. She's the widow grandmother of Orden. She's a halfling. And Yoshka?
I don't care where I sleep.
Okay. You're welcomed into one of the homes. Toll, do you have anything to do or say here?
There's still a gold-shaped divot in the straw in the stable.
Yep.
Toll has no preference where he sleeps.
Okay.
If somebody offers, he'll take them up on it.
Well, you're all invited, and you are given a warm place to stay. You feel secure, not only because of any magic, not only because of the wall, but there are good people watching in the night. It's been long enough that you suspect that you are most of the way through this false night, or much of the way, and we will see what happens next time. I'm going to, unusually, because we're running a little long on time, but also I have a little bit of calculation to do, I'm going to do experience at the beginning of next episode, before you awake from your long rest. Sorry if you don't, whatever, but that means you'll get your level. But I have to calculate some experience stuff here. Great. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you players for playing. That's where we'll end this episode. You can get more details about the world that we are exploring and the story we're telling at thestarfallcollective.com. Have a great night.
Adios.